Now, the Enforcement Directorate has intensified its probe into the National Herald matter, and now we're getting live visuals of a protest being staged by members of the Congress party right outside Herald House in the national capital. Remember that these raids began in the morning. There are as many as 12 different locations across different parts of the country that are being searched by officials of the ED. Let me go across to Akanksha immediately, who's joining us from outside Herald House. Akanksha, you've been reporting to us the story right from this morning when the raids began. What can you tell us about the scenes outside Herald House right now?
Well, absolutely. As you know, that raid started early morning today, but now as you can see, Congress workers have gathered here and they're raising slogans against these raids which have started since morning. They gathered here a few minutes back and they told us that they have not taken any permission from the police. After some time, police came to them and tried to speak to them, asking them to go away, but they deterred, and now police, as you can see, have intervened and they're pushing the police also. We'll just go across and speak to few people here. Up you protest.
ED! This is a blatant misuse of Enforcement Directorate. This is nothing but a harassment on a newspaper which is the voice of freedom struggle. So we are opposing this. ED!
You are protesting.
प्रोटेस्ट तब तक चलेगा जब तक ये नेशनल हेराल्ड मामला ईडी का दुरुपयोग करना नरेंद्र मोदी जी बंद नहीं कर देंगे। राहुल गांधी के सिपाही हैं, किसी के बाप से नहीं डरते।
नेशनल हेराल्ड का बहाना है, मकसद मोदी सरकार को ईडी तंत्र का दुरुपयोग। So as you can see, opposition has time again been saying that this is a political vendetta and that the central government is misusing agencies. Now, as you can see, these people here have gathered from the Congress party, but they do not have any permission to carry out this protest here. As you can see, police has also intervened. There are large number of women here, and the police, let me tell you, was not prepared for this protest. We spoke to a few Congress persons here, and they told us that this will be a flash mob. Now, as you can see, these people are pushing the police officers and they want to go across the road to the Herald House. And they're also raising slogans of against the central government. बंद करो, नेशनल हेराल्ड को बहाना है, मकसद मोदी सरकार की चीजों को छुपाना है. This is what they are saying. And this protest
in fact, Akanksha, we do see two women. One of them who spoke to you on the microphone there, she's now in fact fled to the steps of the entrance of Herald House, and they're holding out a banner saying stop the misuse of the Enforcement Directorate. So clearly the police presence there, Akanksha, as you were reporting, quite inadequate, because those people who were protesting have now made it to the entrance of the Herald House as well.
Well, absolutely. As you can see, the tussle began between the police and these Congress workers. They have gone all across to the Herald House, that side of the road, because as I mentioned earlier, they have not taken any permission from the police in this regard, and also police was unprepared for this flash mob. But definitely what we're witnessing right now is a flash mob sort of a situation here, and these people came here in large number. They told us that they've not taken any permission, but they will be carrying out a dharna here in front of the National Herald House against the ED raids which started early in the morning. We'll just go across and speak to few people here. Ma'am,
मैं ये कहना चाहती हूँ, मोदी सरकार तानाशाही दर्शाती है, ईडी गुंडागर्दी।
देखिए, मैं आपके चैनल के माध्यम से पूछना चाहता हूँ, ऐसी कौन सी जांच है ये 21,000 करोड़ रुपए की अडानी पोर्ट में ट्रक जमा होगी?
सच्चाई सामने आनी चाहिए।
कोई सच्चाई नहीं, कौन सी सच्चाई? कोई सब फर्जी होना चाहिए।
As you can see, there's ruckus outside the Herald House where the raid started early this morning. Now they have this sit-in dharna here. They told us that what we will witness today is going to be a flash mob demonstration and also a sit-in dharna. They also have placards with Sonia Gandhi's picture on it,
देखिए ये बीजेपी की एक टैक्टिस है। सबसे पहले जो भी भाजपा में जाता है वहां पे ईडी का एक्सरे नहीं चलता है, और देश में जो मुख्य मुद्दे हैं, बेरोजगारी है, महंगाई है, उन सब से भटकाने के लिए जो है ये सब जो काम जो है भाजपा ईडी के फ्रंटल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की तरह जो है वो काम कर रहा है।
Agencies are in fact being misused by the federal government against them, and the debate at the Senate House started earlier today, after which these Congress workers gathered here. It was a flash mob. They told us no permission has been taken, and as soon as they arrived outside the Herald House, two of the policemen approached them. These Congress workers refused to leave the place outside the Herald House, after which now large number of police has been deployed here to control the law and order situation which has arisen here.
And Akanksha, as we can see that the police has blocked off the access to the entrance of the Herald House there. The DPCC workers protesting just outside the Herald House. Were they trying to barge in? Because from what we get to hear, the Enforcement Directorate officials are still inside conducting their searches.
Well, absolutely, this is the way to the Passport Seva Kendra. The first two floors of this Herald House are reserved for that. The National Herald newspaper at which the raids were conducted, that is on the 4th floor, and since morning public entry is restricted there. However, entry to the Passport Seva Kendra was still allowed, and still few moments ago there were still people inside the Seva Kendra. But after this law and order situation, as you can see, police is also taking them away. Police is ready to detain them. However, when the protest started, the police was unaware and was caught off guard. They planned the protest in such a way that they started gathering outside the Herald House one by one until there were a huge number of Congress workers outside the Herald House, and they told us they will not take permission from the police after what ED is doing to their leaders. But as you can see now, they're being dragged by the police, because of course police has to control the law and order situation here in the national capital, because this is central Delhi. Police was caught unaware. These people said that we do not need any permission, and this comes these raids had started earlier today. This comes also a few days after Sonia Gandhi was questioned by the Enforcement Directorate in connection with this case. Of course, Congress has time and again been saying that these agencies are being misused by the central government against them, and there's quite a lot of anger in them against the Enforcement Directorate as well as the central government. They've been saying that this case is baseless, this is a political vendetta against their leaders, and that's why they've gathered here. They're raising slogans of Haay Haay. क्या कहना चाहिए?
हाय हाय ईडी। देखो, नेशनल हेराल्ड मामला चल रहा है, देश के खिलाफ है ये देश को बर्बाद करके मानेंगे। नरेंद्र मोदी जी की तानाशाही चल रही है, और ये राहुल गांधी जी और सोनिया गांधी को डराना चाहते हैं, लेकिन हम नहीं डरने वाले नहीं हैं।
बट ये रेड ही है, सच सामने आना चाहिए। अगर कुछ मिसिंग है, पेपर ट्रेल,
मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, ये खबरें चलाना चाहते हैं नरेंद्र मोदी मीडिया के माध्यम से। आप बताइए, 21,000 करोड़ रुपए की ड्रग्स बरामद होती है अडानी पोर्ट में, वहाँ ईडी क्यों नहीं जाती? बताइए आप। इनके ये विधायकों को खरीदने के लिए 50-50 करोड़ रुपए देते हैं, वहाँ ईडी क्यों नहीं जाती?
As you heard, there is of course anger in them against a raid that started in the morning today, and of course they are being forced by the police to this side of the road, because this was also caught off guard and they were not prepared to handle this sort of situation. And this is a flash mob that the Congress party actually came for here in connection with the National Herald case. But as you can see, police is pushing them to the other side of the road, dragging few of them in fact, and because they did not take any permission for the police for such a huge protest. As you can see, hundreds of people have gathered here at a place where there is also Passport Kendra and also the Herald House, and people were actually here for their work. But I would request my camera person to pan to the other side of the road and show the visuals of the protest. now they are being deterred by the police to leave the road outside the Herald House.
Right, absolutely. The steps to the Herald House, the access to the entry has been completely cordoned off by the police. They just managed to reach there in the nick of time, just at the point where a lot of the protesters belonging to the DPCC were trying to, in fact, enter. And now they've been asked to disperse from the area. So